Welcome to another enlightening podcast from Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com, where we question everything. Human Taste, Miracle and Limitations, by the Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com team. Taste is the quietest of our senses. Sight informs us of danger. Hearing alerts us to the approach of a predator. Touch warns us of fire. But taste? Taste is the pleasure principle. It is the sensation that turns mere fuel into poetry. It is the biological imperative that made early humans forage for sweetness and the cultural engine that drives Michelin-starred kitchens. Yet, for all its splendor, human taste is a fickle, flawed, and fragile instrument. It is both our greatest hedonistic ally and our most deceptive biological shortcut. To understand taste is to understand the beautiful tension between the miracle of perception and the tyranny of biology. The miracle, a chemical detective. The true miracle of taste is not in the tongue, but in the brain. The process begins with chemoreception, the ability of our bodies to detect chemical molecules in our environment. We have roughly 8,000 to 10,000 taste buds, clustered primarily on the tongue, but also scattered on the roof of the mouth and the throat. These microscopic receptors are replaced every 2 weeks, like a biological refresh rate, ensuring we never lose our ability to detect danger. But the magic multiplies exponentially when we add smell. Retronasal olfaction, the process of odors traveling from the back of the mouth up into the nasal cavity, is responsible for roughly 80% of what we perceive as flavor. When you bite into a strawberry, your tongue detects sweetness and acidity, but your nose conjures the floral, fruity ester compounds that give it soul. This combination allows us to detect umami, the fifth taste discovered by Kikuchi Ikeda in 1908. The ability to taste glutamate, the amino acid found in aged cheese, tomatoes, and seared meat, is a chemical marvel. It signals the presence of protein and energy, allowing our ancestors to thrive. In this way, the tongue is a neural map of survival, a database of caloric density and toxicity. It is a miracle of evolutionary engineering. The limitation, the one-dimensional menu. And yet, for all this sophistication, the human palate is surprisingly narrow. The tongue detects exactly 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. That is it. Every complex wine, every spicy curry, every artisanal chocolate is merely a variation and combination of these 5 pillars. This is a profound limitation. We cannot taste calcium directly. We cannot taste water, though we can sense its texture. We have no dedicated receptor for spiciness. That is actually the detection of pain via the TRPV1 receptor, a heat sensor warning us of potential harm. Furthermore, our genetic lottery dictates our experience. The variations in the TAS2 are 38 gene determine whether you find broccoli a delight or a vile, bitter poison. Roughly 25% of the population are supertasters, primarily women, living in a world where bitterness is amplified to unbearable levels, while non-tasters live in a muted, underwhelming flavor world. Your experience of a strawberry is completely unique to you, and likely completely different from your neighbors. Perhaps the greatest limitation, however, is the sheer speed of adaptation. The nose fatigues within minutes. The taste buds become desensitized by repetition. This is why the first bite of a meal is always the most intense, and why we crave variety. We are chasing a chemical high that our own biology actively dampens. The trap of expectation. Beyond the biological lies the cognitive limitation. We do not taste with our tongues alone. We taste with our memories. This is the Proust effect, the ability of a Madeleine dunked in tea to unlock a buried memory. But it also works against us. Studies using blindfolded wine tasters have shown that merely changing the label on a bottle alters the perceived flavor. The brain is a powerful filter, and it heavily biases the flavor we experience based on price, branding, and visual aesthetics. A cheap wine poured from an expensive bottle tastes complex. A strawberry painted red tastes sweeter. Taste is not truth. Taste is narrative. The future, hacking the miracle. As we look to the future, we see the next evolution of this limitation. The lab-grown meat industry currently faces a flavor gap, Creating the texture of meat is easy, but replicating the complex chemical reactions of the Maillard effect in a sterile bioreactor is proving difficult. Furthermore, the rise of artificial sweeteners reveals our biological vulnerability. We have created chemicals that bind to our sweet receptors with thousands of times the intensity of sugar, but they cannot replicate the texture or mouthfeel, leaving us feeling cheated. We are learning that taste is not just chemistry. It is physics, psychology, and texture. It is the crackle of the crust, the fizz of the soda, the viscosity of the oil. Conclusion: embracing the limitations. Human taste is a miracle not because it is perfect, but because it is intimately linked to our survival, our culture, and our joy. It is limited because it must be. Our biology cannot handle infinite sensory input without fatigue. It is deceptive because we are narrators of our own experience, imposing meaning on molecules. The next time you savor a meal, take a moment to appreciate the paradox. You are enjoying a sensation that is both exquisitely complex and biologically crude. Your tongue is reading the chemical history of the world, but your brain is translating it into poetry. The limitation is not a flaw. It is the filter that makes the miracle visible. After all, if we could taste infinity, we would never truly taste anything at all. Don't forget to sign up to our mailing list, follow our social channels, donate if you're able to keep these blogs free, and open your mind with more free blogs and life-changing books at beawakeawarealive.com. Thanks for listening to another enlightening podcast from BeAwakeAwareAlive.com, where we question everything.